I start, I'm going to give the disclaimer that I used to be a professor. So, I apologize in advance. That's how my PowerPoint is set up. Anyway, some of my stuff is a little bit repetitive of what they said, so I'll just kind of skip through that because I have a lot and I want to just hit the high points. So we'll just kind of get started. This is one of my favorite pictures because I think the majority of us are in here. But it just was one of the little stopping points we had. We just stopped and found a letter and got in it. So that was really fun. In case you don't know where Honduras is, on the map, that's where we were. And then I kind of just, I don't know how to say that. Okay, yeah, that's where, that's actually where we flew into.
I'm sorry, the Lancho is where we weren't. I don't know the name of the place we flew into.
Coma, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and then where the arrow is, that's actually where we were working in. So you can see that we had quite a distance to travel, like they were saying, to actually get to our work site. So we were we did a lot of traveling, like they were sharing. Now, this is actually the hotel that we stayed at on the way in. So the very first night, this is the hotel. And when I say hotel, as we prepared and we had some meetings coming up, going into Debbie, one of the things she said, and I thought, this is really strange. She was like, you're not going to drink the water, so I want you to try to practice showering with your mouth closed. And I thought, why would I do that? Like, why is that important? And then I realized how much I swallow water when I shower. So that was a big deal. And I realized that I could not accomplish that. So I just showered with my face away from the shower because that was just a moot point. And then the little guy in the corner is one of the cats that visited us. They have a lot of pets. A lot of pets, but a lot of animals there. And as I go through, I'll show you something that I found that's very interesting about the dogs there, mainly. But that was the hotel. This was at the hotel, just on the side. I thought that was the cutest thing. Much to run into. Yeah, Cinderella. She left something there when she stayed over. Now, and this was, so this trip for me was a bucket list thing. Now, I think each one of us might have a bucket list, whether we really realize it or not. So I'm going to try not to cry, but this is the first point. Going back, right here you can see the bougainvillea plant there. And what was very fascinating about that plant is that when I walked up to it, I noticed it was just swarming with butterflies. And that was the first of many butterflies I would see on this trip. So I took pictures of some of them, but
butterflies remind you of people you've lost.
Actually, one very important person, that's my dad. And my daughter had made that connection a long time ago, so then I saw so many butterflies that I felt like my dad was with me the whole time. It verified that I was there for a good reason, that I was doing the right thing, and I was at the right place at the right time. So it was good, it was right, and it was where I was supposed to be. And ever since I got back on that trip, I have seen so many butterflies, it's unbelievable. I'm like, hi, Dad. Just a couple of pictures of the beautiful scenery. We were up in the mountains, truly, and being a native Floridian, I haven't seen a whole lot of mountains. I was like, what mountains? And this is just a little bit about HOI. I'm not going to go over that, but the pink star is the community that we were in, and then the little hexagon there, the blue one, is actually where we were staying, the ranch. I'm not going to do that, but just examples that Pila is like the sink / washing machine, so to speak. Latrina. If you've never seen a latrina, that is AKA a toilet. Okay? If you've never squatted in your life, these people must have really strong leg strength. That's just all I'm gonna say. And you don't flush toilet paper. And you bring toilet paper with you everywhere you go, because it's not a given that places have toilet paper. So why not? And then the concrete floors. And that was just our schedule. Again, Marta, awesome lady, really awesome lady. Did serve as my interpreter for one portion of one of my clinic days. The other time I had Kako, and he was like, yeah, you know, taco, but with a K. So literally. I do want to speak just for a minute about him. And his name is actually Ricardo. And how Kako got up, that name came out of that, was that when he was a child, his brother could not say his name, and it came out to be Kako. So it stuck with him for all these years. I don't, you know, I'm not going to get into politics, but these experiences change him in many ways. He is one of the most wonderful people I met on the trip. I spent a lot of time with him because he was my interpreter for the clinic. And I did end up working with him on some of the days with I fixed the concrete and did the floors and stuff. And I got to know him on a personal level. And I'm actually talk to him now via Facebook. So we check in on each other every so often. And he is married. He actually has 5 children, 2 with his current wife that he unfortunately is separated from physically. And that is because she was in Hawaii, and that's where he was living with her, but he was deported because they were married, and I guess when he was a child, his father brought him to the United States because he was really into soccer. Fast forward all these years later, he's married. He thought that he was here legally, and some way or the other, you know, whatever. And I, just like many of you, have thoughts about politics and about, you know, immigrants and this and that, and but there's nothing like developing a personal relationship with someone to help you have possibly a different opinion of, you know, maybe the way you think about a law that might change your mind. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, so he is actually from that area of Honduras, natively, but now he has to stay over there for at least a year before he can see his family again. So it's a very sad situation for him. But he's a very good-spirited man, and he is very committed to help the people of his area. And this is the same picture. This was at the ranch, just hanging out, getting a game plan for like the next day. So these were some of the pets we encountered. Just wanted to bring your attention to the dog on the bottom. So you see lots of ribs, not a lot of meat on his bones type thing. That's how all the dogs look there. They struggle to feed themselves, so I mean, it just kind of, it didn't feel good to see them like that. Anyway, and they told us not to pet them, of course, because none of them have immunizations of any kind. They do have a plantain farm there, an HOI. That's one of their resources that they sell, plantains. I just thought that was just wonderful. These were some of the meals we were served. Very interesting combinations of foods. They do their best to try to make, you know, to please the palate of the visitors that come there. Just interesting. I think the most interesting thing that we were served, I don't know if you guys agree, but scrambled eggs with green beans in them. Yeah. I tried it.
Get your greens.
Okay. Just some other fun pictures. And what I thought was interesting, the age range of the people on our team, I think 15 to 87. Wow. The gentleman. So the couple there, they are newlyweds, been married since St. Patrick's Day. And that was awesome. They were awesome people. Just some more fun pictures. Okay. So just one example of a concrete floor that we did. And a lot of times they had us mix inside the house because that was almost like a free little area of flooring because the leftover concrete was in there, so they, it helped them out. This is actually that same house, and they can actually add color to the floor. And I was told it was like a porcelain, like ground up porcelain that adds the color to the floor. But only people that are of the more wealthy families actually have enough money to add the color to the flooring. And it's actually smooth. It doesn't necessarily look smooth, but it ends up very smooth, the flooring. The little girl in the pink dress actually lives in that house that I just showed you the flooring for. And something that really scared me with that was that she was napping the day that we were working and mixing and laying the flooring there. And they don't have doors, so there's a rooster as she napped that kept just tapping his little feet all over her body, and I was thinking just how unclean that was. It was like driving me nuts. Like I didn't like when my children crawled on the floor or anything, and so the idea that rooster and they don't control their bowels, and I was just, I know, it's just okay. But yeah, so here's some more photos when we were working. Another house that we did. So this is actually a kitchen. The picture on the right, so that's their stove there and everything. So that's what a normal kitchen might look like, and the dirt floor. And then that's when we were working on it. Unfortunately, on this one, I did not get an after picture. This is the same house, but this is a different room that we were working on. And that was the volcano. And when we say that concrete gets very heavy when you add the water to it. Anyway, I want to get to, and this is the Pila that was, I didn't, the only thing I worked on was the clinic and floor. So that was when I got together. So the ranch, I did take a few pictures of the ranch. This was the center picture is the one dog that we were allowed to interact with because he was okay. Because he belonged to Marta. And then some of the cows that were on the, that they used for milk. And I asked, did they just use them for milk or did they use them for meat? And he said that sometimes they do sell them for the meat to other people, but they don't actually butcher them there at the ranch. So this is my clinic. This was the first day, and I had, so each day I would have, I had Kako as my interpreter, and then I had at least one person from the team that would come in and help me. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So the first day, my assistant, I didn't really know what to do with them, because I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who was going to be coming in. I literally was given a suitcase full of donations. And that ranged from Neosporin ointment to prescription medication. And as a nurse in the United States, you don't give out a prescription medication unless a doctor tells you to. So it's very different than what I was used to. So definitely had to step out of my comfort zone a little bit because I didn't have a doctor there to say, yes, that is a heat rash, or that is this, so I had to really, I have a doctorate degree, but I don't have that kind of doctorate degree. So in the 3 half days that I did the clinic, I spent a total about 9 hours. I saw over 100 patients in that time frame. And it included community members and members of my own mission team that got sick while we were out there. Unfortunately, most of those are with GI symptoms. Fortunately, we had, so I brought, before I left here, I went and I brought a little bit of everything to take with us. Anything I thought might happen there, I brought a medication that might treat it, or Band-Aids, bandages, ointments, a little bit of everything. So I had literally in the backpack that I carried, it was my mobile medicine clinic that I brought with me. everywhere I went, I had that, and I was glad I had it on several days. Not that that wasn't special, but I want to tell you about the 2 home visits that I did. Again, I got this, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to tell you about the lady with the leg ulcer first. One of the team members came to me and said, the lady 2 doors, so one time we were like 3 doors down, working on 2 different houses. And one of the guys, they hadn't prepared the house, so they came down to our house and started helping us work. And he said, I think there's a lady down there you need to see. I think she's got a flesh-eating bacteria on her leg. And I was like, oh, well, I've seen that before. I don't really want to see it again, but that's what I'm here for, so I'm going to go. So I went down there, and that's not what it was at all. It's definitely something I had seen before, but it was unbelievable. This lady's she has peripheral vascular disease, which really means she doesn't have good circulation to her leg. She's literally had ulcers or sores on her leg for 19 years. And living out there, they just don't have the types of medical care and stuff we have here. It's just not available to them. So fortunately though, I had taken some of the stuff and put it in my backpack. So I had a medicated ointment and different things in there that I could give her. I didn't have like dressings and stuff, but she didn't even realize, 19 years, that she didn't even realize that she needed to be showering every day and covering it. So it had, I'll just leave it at that. But, so she just, the basic education, things like that, they just were missing. So I was able to provide the education, not just pushing medications on people, but educating them on basic things like that is really important. The last one, which was extremely special to me, Marta came to me and she said there was a gentleman who wanted to bring his, we didn't realize at the time, but his 88-year-old mom, because she hadn't been feeling well and she didn't want to get out of bed. And he was going to put her in a wheelbarrow and push her to me. It was a third of a mile, and when we say bumpy roads, like he would have had to go through a small body of water to get her to me, and he was willing to do that for his mother, which, I would do anything for my mom, but the idea of putting your mother in a wheelbarrow, just to get, it just broke my heart that he would have had to have done that. So I went to her and she literally had, it was like a sinus allergic, maybe it might have been a sinus infection, but nevertheless, this lady prayed with me, blessed me for being such a special person to come out to see her, and it just meant really a lot. Because I didn't feel like I was really doing anything special. It's literally what I came for. It's, I think that each of us have many gifts. It's, are you finding it? Are you trying to use it? It's there. We're all blessed with so many things. And in this case, I was able to help share it with many people because you, as a church, you helped me to get it. I was looking for a picture of at least him. I don't have a whole lot of pictures of the clinic and all because, I'm used to HIPAA and privacy laws and stuff like that. So I didn't think it was really appropriate to take pictures of people and the care and that. So that's why I don't have pictures of things like that. So this is the last day of the clinic. That is the suitcase that had all the goodies in it that I had with me each time. You can see like the containers of medication and stuff. And every time I had it nice and organized, and then we'd zip it up and we'd carry it back and forth each day, and then it'd get messed up again, and then we'd have to reorganize. But anyway, so things that I treated or that were reported usually were headache. What is the flu? So, they've got the flu. They bring their child in. They've got the flu. Well, what is the flu? What's the flu? Headache. And then you start asking them questions, and it's just as hot there, I thought, as here. It's just not as humid. So they're not drinking enough, and they're getting headaches usually because of that. So it's not really necessarily the flu. And then they have a fever at night. And then it finally dawned on me, how are they telling that they have a fever, right? They put their hand on their head. But it's hot, so they're going to have it. So, I mean, it's just figuring out those things, body aches, various rashes, what they called allergies, many times were bug bites. So it's just, again, educating them on things like that. And then just a little bit left, so the HOI, they actually have a medical facility on the ranch. And here's some pictures of that. This is Dr. Hermano that I got to meet, and the tour of the clinic. They actually have a really nice clinic. It has different spots, so like a pre-clinic area. They have the picture on your left is the nurse, and she's actually standing in the medication room there. And then that's the doctor. He was super nice. One day I had a young lady that had an issue and I needed a prescription medication for her. I simply went to him the next morning and said, hey, can I have this? Because I knew exactly what she needed. He handed it to me and I went and found her actually at the Fiesta and gave it to her there. You know, the trust was awesome. They also have a dental clinic. I mean, look at that clinic. And that's because those kind of items were donated by maybe a church like us, or maybe the money was donated and then those items were purchased for them because of people you know, willing to help out. This is the little church that's on HOI property. Okay, oh no, okay. I had to show this to you. So I want you just to take note of the first guy. That is a regular envelope, guys. That is La Cucaracha. Okay. And let me tell you this. That came from under my bed. And yeah, that was not okay. And then the next night, I was standing at my bed like this with my feet under the bed, and I was organizing something, and then I felt something crawl up my leg. And I could not even look. I was just back in the mouth, and it moved on. I was like, oh, I just can't. And then, of course, the pink wall, that's a scorpion. And then one of our young ladies decided that she was going to save it. So I got it on another envelope, put it out into nature. I kid you not, I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. That sucker was back in there. I said, how did you find your way back in there? That's not okay. Anyway, and then this is our dorm, and that was my bed. And yes, I slept under that mosquito net every night, especially after La Cucaracha came and visited. And that's what our quarters look like. Lots of bottled water, because you know you can't brush your teeth without bottled water, right? Yeah. And it's the little things like that you don't think of. Our bus broke down. Yeah, that was fun. Let me just see if there's anything else. The HOI school, that's different than the little one that we worked out of. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to show you. I know we're getting kind of late. Oh, wait. Anybody want to guess what that is?
Marijuana.
That, guys, is a Honduran Walmart. You know they have to get over there, right? This. So this is a couple that went with us. I forget where they were from, Texas, right? He is huge into soccer. And this is one of the soccer teams over there, and he donated uniforms and soccer balls and all kinds of stuff. So this was the soccer team that came and did their picture with them. It's really cute. And that is one of our last pictures. Gifts from the community. I have some things up here. The green item on the right is actually what I was given, and I have it here to show you. It is a vase, and you can smell it. It's actually made from soap. It's carved out of soap. So somebody handmade that for me. And then, we're not Catholic. This is actually, this is really nice. So I feel like somebody really thought a lot of me for what I was able to bring to the community. And it's the Virgin Mary, but it's just beautiful. I have some other things up here just for you guys to see. So these were actually made by one of the community members, and they were, for us to purchase. And this, of course, says, "I love you." Each of these baskets are actually made from pine straw. So they're very creative with their resources. And then something that they do, this is one of the hot sauces is made in Honduras, and they eat it with everything. But you know what? It's really, really good. So I brought some home for my family. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention Honduran coffee, and it's really good. And this one is actually marketed by HOI. This I actually got in the airport, but it's a feather that's hand painted. Yeah, super cool stuff they had. The little house is actually made out of paper. It was given to one of the other missionaries, made by one of the children that had a connection with her, and I don't know when he started on that, but it was pretty large. So cute, and she actually made it home with that thing pretty intact. So, venturing home, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but we were pretty close to it. I mean, you can hardly see it on the picture on the left, but I forget what that's called, but the Jesus statue. But that was the hotel we stayed at on the way back. And I'm not sure what arena that is, but it was right outside. That was right outside of our hotel window. Again, you still can't drink the water, and in most places you can't flush the toilet paper. That was at the airport. We still couldn't flush toilet paper. And it's so weird because it's muscle memory. You're so used to doing it that
I'm sure you did it some, right? Accidentally.
So I actually made an appreciation list, so I'm just going to do this right quick. So for Honduras, just developing those relationships, meeting people in the community. Food, Sponge was one of their little cookies that had marshmallows on it. It was kind of weird, but it was really good. Ice cream we went out for. I never in my life, and my family can attest to this, ever thought in a million years that I would be thankful for Pepsi. But I was unable to get a Diet Coke, so Pepsi Light it was, and I did get a couple of Diet Dr. Peppers. Break for water and rest, shade from the sun, mosquito nets, deodorant. I did a little test for Lumi. That stuff works, or else we all stunk together and we just couldn't smell each other. I don't know. Bug spray with DEET, and then also, fun fact, mosquitoes don't like lavender or eucalyptus, so those scents, I think, helped in addition. Plus, you could, at least it smelled a little bit good to you, so. Those butterflies, the sights and sounds of nature. I did walk every day. I walked for exercise, and I had a recording, but I didn't include it because I knew this was going to be too long. One morning I was walking, and there was a bird in a tree, and it was really loud, but it was the most beautiful sound ever. So that was a great connection with nature. The Land Rovers, because literally without them, we could not have gotten to our destination each day. The medical clinic and those great home visits. Even though there were only 2 of them for me, they were absolutely awesome. For home, fresh water that doesn't need to be filtered for brushing your teeth and washing your dishes even, because you think about that, you eat off those dishes, so you have to have filtered water for that too. Ice, oh my gosh, I missed ice. Food and beverages like Diet Coke. Basic clothing, including shoes. There were several of us that left our shoes for them when we left. It was an extra pair of shoes, I didn't need them, but they did. So I definitely left that. Oops, there we go. Soundly built homes, not made. Their homes are made from tree branches and mud. But that's good for them because they're appreciative of that. Air conditioning, consistent hot water, because we didn't have consistent hot water. We didn't have consistent electricity. It would go off here and there. Toilets with advanced plumbing, because you don't think about that when you flush your toilet. Ability and the convenience to flush toilet paper, toilet seats, toilet paper, cars, paved roads, vaccinations for animals, and the accessibility of medical care, medical supplies, and medication. I'm just going to say one thing about, there's a song by Michael W. Smith that says, "Love isn't love until you give it away." So I'm going to leave you on that thought because it's really not. My special thanks are to Doris York, who arranged for me to have a little letter every day. So So I do have a basket that I got for her. My daughters, Catherine Neely Johnson and Kendall Neely, who came today to see this presentation, they did take care of my little Prince Nelson, my cat, and washed my apartment for me, and then Joy. I got to know Joy on a different level, which was awesome, and her daughter Virginia. They both worked so very hard this trip for such a good reason. And for you guys for supporting without you and the financial support, your thoughts, your prayers. I would not have been able to do this without you. Thank you for helping me check this off my bucket list.